Happy Friday! Thanks for watching today. I will be back on Monday. I'm going to read now, but I won't be reading over the weekend this week. And so feel free to rewatch other ones. So today, I told you I love fractured fairy tales, and this is another fractured fairy tale called The Princess and the Pizza. And it's by Mary Jane and Herm Auch. And in this one, I want you to be watching for, this is about, it comes from The Princess and the Pea, but you'll find there are other little fairy tales that they talk about in there too. So we'll see if you can pick up on those as the different little fairy tales show up. Okay, so this is The Princess and the Pizza. Princess Paulina needed a job. Her father had given up his throne to become a woodcarver and move them to a humble shack in a neighboring kingdom. Since the king was still learning his carving, they didn't sell very well, and Paulina's garden barely kept enough on the table. Paulina missed princessing. She missed walking the peacock in the royal garden, surveying the kingdom from the castle tower, and doing the princess wave in the royal processions. You know the princess wave, this one. That one. Paulina tried walking a stray chicken around her shack, but it only pecked at her toes. Surveying the kingdom from the shack's leaky roof only made more holes. She tried princess waving to the townspeople from her father's cart, but nobody bothered to wave back. They thought she was just swatting at flies. One day, a page rode past the shack announcing that Queen Zelda of Blom was seeking a princess, a true princess, to become the bride of her son, Prince Rupert. "This is my chance to get back to princessing," Paulina cried. She rummaged through her trunk of ex-princess stuff, brushed the wood shavings from her best ball gown, and blew away the bits of sawdust that stuck to her tiara. Then she tucked a piece of garlic into her bodice for good luck, then snipped some fragrant herbs to cover up the garlic smell, and she headed for the castle. Now, Paulina didn't expect much competition. There wasn't another princess for hundreds of miles. But when she got to Blom Castle, boom, she was one of 12 princesses hoping to become the royal bride. When she looked into her assigned room, Paulina saw her bed piled with 16 mattresses. Oh, for Pete's sake, the old Princess and the Pea trick? Oh, it is so once upon a time. Naturally, Paulina didn't sleep a wink because she felt the lumpy pea through all of those mattresses. When the 12 princesses gathered in the throne room the next morning, the 7 who looked bright-eyed were sent home. Now only Paulina and 4 other sleepy princesses remained. First, they were made to write an essay entitled, "Why I Want to Have the Gracious and Exquisitely Beautiful Queen Zelda for My Mother-in-Law." Prince Rupert and Queen Zelda finally appeared on the balcony. Queen Zelda did all the talking. "Congratulations, ladies. You have written some lovely essays, which I will keep in my scrapbook. And you have all passed the mattress test. But to make absolutely sure that you are of royal blood, there is a second test. Only a true princess can wear these glass slippers." "Oh, for Pete's sake, you never heard of sneakers?" Paulina asked. Queen Zelda gave Paulina a sharp look. "Nobody said that you had to hike in them. Just try them on." After the royal page made his way around the room with the slippers, 2 big-footed princesses were sent home. Now, only Paulina and 2 others remained. One was followed around by 7 strange little men, and the other one had such a long braid dragging behind her that Paulina kept tripping over it. "For Pete's sake, you never heard of scissors?" Paulina cried. Queen Zelda glared at Paulina. "You have all passed the second princess test. Your final task is to cook a feast that proves you are worthy of being my dear Prince Rupert's bride." This sent up a wail from all the princesses, especially Paulina. "Oh, for Pete's sake, you never have no royal chef?" "Silence," said the queen. "The table hoards the makings for 3 fine feasts. Choose well, for the winner will become my dear Rupert's bride." As Paulina started for the table, the long-haired princess, who might that be? The long-haired princess tripped her and then loaded up with food. By the time that Paulina got there, the 7 strange little men had run off with everything but some flour, yeast, water, 3 overripe tomatoes, and a hunk of stale cheese. "Hey, that's not fair! Queen Zelda, will you help me?" "No," said the queen. "You have a big mouth." A servant escorted Paulina to her room and locked the door. "Hey, how can I cook without a bowl or spoons or pots?" There was no reply. Paulina tried to make bread, kneading the flour, water, and yeast together, but it only stuck to the tray in a flattened mess. Oh, she squished the tomatoes over the dough to brighten it up. It looked awful. She sprinkled cheese gratings over the top. It was still a mess, and Paulina was exhausted. "Oh, for Pete's sake, where's your fairy godmother when you need her? Oh, I'm going to take a nap." She reached under the pile of mattresses, pulled out the offending pea, and climbed into bed. She hadn't been sleeping long when there came a knock at the door. "Only 20 minutes left," called the queen. "I don't smell anything cooking." "I'm not cooking," said Paulina. "I'm napping, and then I'm going home." "You are not going anywhere," said the queen. "The losers will be beheaded." Paulina sat bolt right upright. "Beheaded? You didn't tell us that." "Huh, I forgot," said the queen. "Oh, can't I have a second chance? How about I try and spin straw into gold, or maybe guess a strange little man's name?" "No second chances," declared the queen. "But that's not fair," Paulina cried. "Who needs to be fair? I'm the queen." Paulina leaped out of bed and ran to the window, but it was an unbelievably long drop to the ground. The meal was her only hope. She rushed the tray over to the fireplace, stirred the few remaining hot coals, then crushed her garlic and sprinkled it over the mess for good luck. Finally, Paulina tossed on the herbs to cover up the garlic smell. Oh, Paulina paced back and forth, planning her escape. Perhaps she could make a deal with the long-haired princess to climb down her braid. She didn't notice that the goopy dough had browned into a crust, and the tomatoes were bubbling, and the hard bits of cheese had melted, and the fragrance of garlic and herbs filled the room. A page opened the door. "Time's up," he said. Paulina took a deep breath and carried her tray into the great room. The other princesses had made very fancy feasts, especially the one who had had 7 strange little men to help her. Prince Rupert went right to Paulina's tray. "It's not pretty, but it smells scrumptious," and he helped himself to an unusually generous piece. "What did you call this dish?" Paulina shrugged. I don't know. It can't be an official entry in the contest if it doesn't have a name, said the Queen. Oh, for Pete's sake, Paulina muttered. What's that? Snapped the Queen. Pete's what? Remembering about the whole beheading thing, Paulina frantically tried to think of a name. It's a pizza. Pizza? The Queen took a big bite. Odd name, but it's tasty. The winner is Paulina's Pizza. You mean I won't be beheaded? I was only kidding about the beheading, said the Queen. Huh, well, then I was only kidding about wanting to marry Prince Rupert. Who needs him? I got other plans. Will you leave your recipe? Asked the Queen. No way, said Paulina. It has just become a family secret. And she headed for the door. I liked you best, whined the Queen, following close behind. Oh, for Pete's sake, muttered Paulina as she stomped across the drawbridge. Princess Paulina's Pizza Palace opened a few weeks later. It featured unusual carved furniture and 50 kinds of pizza. Every Thursday, on the Royal Chef's Night Off, Queen Zelda and Prince Rupert came to Paulina's for popcorn pineapple pizza. They often stayed to play cards with Paulina's father. From then on, whenever Paulina drove her pizza delivery cart through the town doing the princess wave, everybody waved back and ran after her, asking about the day's specials. Life was good. Paulina was grateful not to have Queen Zelda for a mother-in-law, but she still worried about one little thing. She worried about getting Queen Zelda as her stepmother. The end. That one took longer than I expected it to. Did you find lots of fairy tales in there? The 7 Little Men? How about the princess with the long braid? Glass slipper. There were quite a few in there, weren't there? So I just in this last little bit, I am going to reread just for the students at Kildare Elementary. We got to have an author come, an illustrator come to our school, and he wrote and illustrated this book called Dinosaur Train. And I have a grandson who loves dinosaurs in particular, and so I thought I would reread this one today. It's called Dinosaur Train, and when he wrote it, he said he put together the 2 things that his son liked the most that he at that time when he was little, and it was dinosaurs and trains. So he put it together and made Dinosaur Train. And it's not a very long book. The illustrations are amazing. So it is Story and Pictures by John Steven Gurney. Thursday was a day much like any other for Jessie. Trains and dinosaurs. Dinosaurs and trains. Just before bed, Jessie drew one last picture. Suddenly, there was a loud noise, and the whole house began to shake. All aboard! Someone shouted. Please have your tickets ready. Thank you, said the conductor. Dining car to the rear. Let me show you the view from the sky windows. Tunnel ahead, yelled Jessie. Duck! I told you the illustrations were amazing. When they came out of the tunnel, Jessie said, "Look, that's amazing!" Oh, good. Don't you want to see what's amazing? Everyone leaned over to see. Oh. Oh no. Jessie took charge. Come on. You can do it. Push it. Push it back on the track. Thanks, son. You can ride up here. Next stop, Jessie's room. The end. Was I right about the illustrations or what? So I ordered this book online so that I would have it after having the visit from the author. So I thought we might like to see it again. So that is it for today. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. I love doing this. It makes me feel like I'm a little part of your world. So I will be back on Monday at noon, and we'll see you then. Have a great weekend. Thanks for watching.